Hey internets, it's Jake and welcome to Mini Terrain Domain, where today I'm going to show you how to make miniature treasure hoards. Bling bling! Let's look at how we make these miniature treasure hoards. Of course, we're going to start off looking at the materials you'll need to make these treasure hoards. You're going to want to have a pen, pencil, something to write with, cardboard, scissors, a hot glue gun, some PVA glue, a brush, water-based polyurethane finish, gold round glitter, black acrylic paint, and a variety of beads, gems, bits, and bobs. Let's take a closer look at some of the bling that we're going to use in our treasure builds. These are some cool looking metallic beads that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I believe the brand is called Traditions. They were normally $1.99. I got them at 50% off, so I got about 100 of these beads for about $1. It's about a penny a bead. Now these were free to me because they were left over from a project my mother-in-law had, and she did not need all of these cool gold beads, and I said, here, let me have them. I will find a use for them. Again, you can probably find these pretty cheaply at your craft store. You're looking at about 5,000 1.5 millimeter rhinestones. These things are awesome for gems and treasure hoards. And I've selected a few choice items from my Lego Bits and Bobs box. Anything that looks kind of cool that you think would be a cursed or magic item. It doesn't necessarily matter if it's to scale. I just chose what looked cool. Now we're going to make the bases for our treasure hoards. Initially I'm just going to show you 3 bases, taking my pen and just kind of drawing out the rough shape at approximately a 1 to 2 inch footprint. And I'm going to cut those out. Now you can do any size you want. You can do huge treasure hoards using these same methods. But whatever size you choose, take your scissors and carefully cut around. I'm using a pretty thin cardboard here, so I'm not putting too much strain in my scissors. They're just standard scissors, nothing special about them, other than they're my scissors, and I think they're special. So cut all your pieces out, and you're ready to move on to the next step. Gluing the bits to the cardboard. Now I forgot to hit the record button on the camera for this bit, so I want you to use your imagination. Imagine that I'm squeezing the trigger on the hot glue gun, pressing these weapons and beads into the hot glue, and also please imagine that I did not in fact burn my fingers several times on the hot glue. For this next step we'll be using PVA glue, so no fear of burns. We're going to take the white PVA glue and spread it all around where you're going to want your glitter to adhere to. Take your brush and spread the glue down over the edges. We're going to use this glue and the subsequent glitter application to cover up all of that corrugation, and it's going to help to add a little bit more depth to your treasure pile. So it'll sit nicely on any dungeon terrain without having to create any faux floors or anything like that. Again, regardless of what bits and bobs you've put in there or how you've crafted your individual treasure hoard, PVA glue all the way around, dump the glitter on there, and it really helps to sell that illusion that the magic items and the artifacts and whatnot are actually buried in a tremendous pile of gold coins. Lots and lots of shiny. Again, bring that glue down over the edges to hide the corrugation and dump your glitter over the entire thing, and there's a nice wonderful golden treasure pile. Of course, we want more than gold coins, we want gems, so we're going to take these rhinestones and I choose to put them in individually by taking my tweezers and carefully working them in between some of the gold coins into the PVA glue so that they'll actually stick into the whole piece. These are one-sided rhinestones, so just dumping them on there I found that the silver sides tended to stick up, which didn't look as cool as the pinks, greens, blues, and purples. Once you've applied your gemstones, before we move on to the next step, you're going to want to let your treasure hoard pieces dry, probably overnight. So make a bunch of them. Once they're dry, I put down a piece of white paper and I just tap them against the edge to knock off any loose glitter. And then I can dump that back into my glitter container. Next up, we're going to wash the hoard. Black acrylic paint is what I'm using here. I get just a little bit on my brush, put it into my palette, add some water. This is mostly water. And simply brush that nice and wet all over the gold coins so that it gets down in the cracks and in between. Cover the whole thing up. This is what's going to sell your treasure pile. This is going to make those coins pop. Once you've coated all your pieces, you can take a dry paper towel and just dab away some of that excess so it's not completely saturated with the wash. Final step is to take the water-based polyurethane gloss finish and coat the entire piece. This is going to do two things. One, it's going to make it nice and shiny, give it a little extra gloss coat. You can put it over the weapons and other bits if you want, but make sure you get all of the gold coins and gems. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to seal everything in so that you can use these pieces on your game table without the fear of losing gems or gold coins or magic items other than what your players steal. Now let's take a look at the final treasure. Here you can see I've used DM Scotty's treasure chest method along with painting a Lego sword, adding some jewels to a Lego skull, and a dagger from something or other. I like to use a lot of the Lego cutlasses and some of the smaller swords because they can look fantastic on these piles. These treasure hoards are incredibly cheap and easy to make. You can make a bunch of these, and I love how awesome they look with a few simple additions. It's just amazing to see how the light just glints off of the coins. And you'll be able to see that light reflected in your greedy player character's eyes as they head for the treasure and forget to make a perception check. When you get down to it, your supply of glitter, bits and bobs, and your imagination are your limit. Thank you for watching Mini Terrain Domain. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And remember, imagine, build, play. Mini-Terrain.